Welcome back, everybody, to the one and only Sammy's and Beer podcast, live here on this fantastic Sunday evening. The night's going great. The Cowboys are beating the Eagles currently. Last I saw, they were up 27-6 or something like that. So it's a
You see
it's a
that 50-yard?
good start to a Friday night.
You see that kick?
I've been watching the game, yes, so I saw the kick. We thank you all so much for stopping by. We are live here on Twitch, live on YouTube, and if you're checking us out during the week, we do post everything on Apple Podcasts for your listening pleasure. It is Christmas season, so we thank you all so much for taking the time. Maybe it's just a time to break away from your family, but with me, as always, is Tomas Rinco.
Why do you always say it super slow when it comes to me? Is it because I'm slow? Is that so I know what's going on?
I introduce you that way.
I
I try to emphasize. If you'll notice, I never actually say my name. I only say yours. The
Why
Sandy's
is
and Beer podcast, and with me, and I say your name.
why is that, Matt? Why is
I don't
that?
know, because it's who says. How often do you say your own name?
Not a lot.
I never say my own name.
I guess that's fair. Maybe we
So-
should introduce you from your gamer tag, your handles.
Which one would you prefer to go with? Like my original
What was the original again?
Project Badass.
I think that's my favorite.
That's mine too. I mean, I stole it from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, but it is definitely my favorite.
Midwestern Sniper is. Oh my God, I can't believe you drank that. That's a red flag. You gulped it like it's thick. It's nasty.
It is thick, and it's got booze in it too.
I mean, that's great that it has booze in it, but that's still just.
It gets raw egg foot in it.
That's nasty.
It's delicious. It's the good stuff.
Okay. That's such a middle-aged white man thing. I've never seen someone of my background drink eggnog.
Do you see all the how much it leaves on the glass here?
So
Like that's how thick.
That's
it
your
is.
throat right
Like,
now.
That's
Looks like a glass of cum. So today we're going to be talking about the holiday season again and some more important topics. We're going to get a little serious. Apparently, Matt's going to give me shit for something, which is completely within the realm of possibility and the realm of normality. I say a lot of stupid shit.
much. Like
So-
at 1:15 last night, texting my wife.
I sent her a book reading picture and then I didn't say anything else because it's like I'm going to forget about this.
But then you sent me a TikTok on it as well.
Well, that's because you're gonna. If I send you a TikTok, that's whatever. But it's like if I don't send this, I'm gonna
Yeah.
forget about it, and then I went about my day. Which is so. Actually, I'm gonna talk about that for a second. It's really interesting a concept, and I kind of wish movies. Not. I don't wish they did this, but it's reading two books at the same time, and switching books between certain chapters. I think there's like a bunch of different words for it, but I thought it was really cool, and I know some books personally that I would love to read like that. That's what we talked about.
That's weird.
It is weird, but it's cool.
Like that's like one of those things of like, what was it? Watching The Wizard of Oz and starting Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon at an exact time, and then they like sync up and shit.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Just one of those like, how fucking high were you when you did this?
Well, that's the books make sense because story-wise, it actually makes a lot of sense. It's like watching the MCU movies, not in the order they came out, but in the order they're actually in. That's how I could like describe
But
it.
it's not because but you're not I would say that's not even close to a comparison because you're talking about reading two separate books. Are they by the same author or different
Yes,
authors?
in
too?
the same series too. Like it's the same story, but two different points. Like,
Oh, okay, that
and
makes more sense.
and you
I
need
thought
to
you were
have
like talking like separate books, but
no,
okay.
no, that's a
You're
little too
talking
much
like-
for me.
they're just syncing up
Yes,
okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
it's an interesting concept, and I needed her opinions on because it's like say
But
it says read the series and then do that.
but why wouldn't I mean if the author wanted you to do that, why wouldn't they put it in that order?
Well, I don't think they do. I think the fans came up with this list, and like it makes more sense and it reads better like this.
That makes sense. People have way too much fucking time on their hands.
Yep. I don't know your wife. I think like the genre of the books and stuff. I wanted to see if she's read it because I haven't read them at all to see if it's worth my time.
You know what would be really worth your time?
What?
That would be a really good book that you should
Oh,
read.
Lightbringer. Yeah.
Yeah, the book series that you got me into.
That you really hammered down in. I'm
Yeah.
actually pretty happy about that. I'm drinking
My
tequila,
wife
by the way.
my wife has become obsessed with what is it? Monocle? Something like that. It's a fan fiction for Harry Potter where
Yes, she sent it to
if
me.
Harry Potter died.
Hmm. She sent that to me. I mean, 50 Shades of Grey was a fan fiction.
Was it?
For Twilight.
Oh.
Fun fact. A lot of them, a lot of books nowadays took, because, I mean, there's a million ways to justify it. It's a book. If it
Yeah,
reads
I
good, it
mean
reads good.
everything's based off of something, wouldn't you? I
Exactly.
mean, yeah. And it's inspired by something that you read, seen, or heard.
Technically, all the MCU movies are fan fictions. Yeah,
I mean,
they took the source material, they edited it, and they released it as their own thing.
yeah. Well, but they had Stan Lee a part of it, who was the creator of them
Yes,
all.
they did. Now it's real
You
fan
know.
fiction, and
Yeah,
because he's dead,
he is.
he's super dead.
R.I.P.
He was also super old, so
Yeah, he was still a cool dude.
oh, he was awesome. Uh, are you gonna do yours first? Or do you want me to do mine first? Mine's a positive
Doesn't
one.
matter.
Mine's
You go right
positive.
ahead then.
Okay. So my girlfriend recently, her family got some puppies, and it made me think about something that I kind of want to do later on in life. Uh, this shot is for all the people who are willing to foster animals. Um, to take
You
in an animal.
consider you take children into that?
I'm just going to do animals today. We'll do kids later.
Well, but I mean, kids are animals.
They really are. Yours aren't. I like yours. Yours are pretty well
Well, they're
behaved.
animals. They're not.
They're pretty good. I like your kids. I've met bad kids. Your kids aren't bad. They're just mischievous. It's funny. Um, but just being able to take, I guess, kids obviously works in this scenario too, but taking something and putting forth all this time, effort, and energy to not even keep them, you know what I mean? To not even see the end result and get that enjoyment out of it just solely out of the goodness of your heart, taking care of another living creature. That is awesome. And that's something I want to do when I'm a little more stable. But she picked up a few puppies and did you say something it didn't pick up?
I mouthed it. I didn't
Oh,
say it out loud.
oh,
I was just. You just said when I'm a little bit more stable,
financially stable.
like like you're just. Yeah.
Two sheets to the wind. It was just really cool. The puppies were dropped off. The lady who got them owns a farm, and it was just like 8 puppies were just dropped off in the middle of the night. So and like they were all sick and mange and just off in a bad way, and now they all look great. So I think it's really cool. Kudos to you. Kudos to anyone who does that. Wow.
Kudos to you, foster people,
It's really
who
cool.
always ask for everybody else to pay money for it.
That too. The GoFundMe's they're a little
They
ridiculous.
are always asking. I follow a local one. Oh, they. And the weird part is, like, I kind of. I love that they do that, because I love animals. But I also like they go and get them from weird fucking places though. Like they make like trips to go get these animals from like the reservation and stuff like that, and it's super fucking weird in my opinion how they do some of that stuff.
It's super weird that you live near a reservation to me.
Yeah, well,
I've never lived near, I've lived all over the world, I've never lived near a reservation.
You did, and if you were in Iowa or Nebraska,
I lived in Nebraska. I don't ever remember hearing of a reservation, being anywhere near
yeah,
one.
there's several in Nebraska.
I mean, I believe it. I just personally never had any
Yeah.
experience with it. I think that's cool.
Um, it's not.
Yeah, I've heard from you and like from watching Letterkenny and a couple other things what it's
Well,
like.
it's some of them are really nice and some of them are really rough. You know, I mean, it's
Depends if they have
just
a
like with
casino,
everything.
right?
It is what you made of it. It is what you make of it.
Yeah.
You know. Um, yeah. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Do your shot. I hope it's not
Uh,
related to reservations.
it is not. That's, um, so my shot is going to. I'm going to try and make it positive, but it's going to come off negative. So we're just going to go with the shot. Everybody needs to keep things in mind on why we actually do things. Remember why you're doing it and try to focus on the purpose and not just the money behind it.
It's me.
Because, like, we were at the mall today to see Santa with my kids and waiting in line, no big deal. We waited for quite a while, 40, 45 minutes. And we got up there and their camera quit working, or the system that they use for the computers, because they obviously Santa doesn't sit there for free. They got to sell pictures.
Yeah.
And their system went down and they're like, I'm sorry, we don't know how long it's going to be. We've got to call somebody in. And obviously they're not going to let you go up there and take pictures with your cell phone. But I was just sitting there and I'm like, why wouldn't you just offer to let the kids go talk to Santa Claus? Like,
Yeah.
the kids don't give a fuck about the pictures. That's the parents. The kids are there to see Santa Claus. And nobody brought up that just letting the kids see Santa Claus. So keep in mind why we're doing things. Why, I understand that they've turned it into a business and that's why they're doing it. But it's about the kids. Don't forget about the kids. Cheers.
Don't forget about them kids. Is that the Bushmills?
That's the Bushmills.
It's a good one.
I actually got a bottle of it and gave it to my buddy who got me into the Peaky Blinders.
That's cool. I like that. I thought Daniel got you into it.
Daniel showed me this bottle.
Okay.
Did not get me into the show.
Okay. That's my B.
No, I was talking to my one buddy, and we were talking about Sons of Anarchy, and he goes, "You know what you need to watch? It's like Sons of Anarchy, but totally way better."
So, I sent you a picture.
Okay.
And did you look at it?
No, we're on the podcast. I'm not on my
It's
phone, buddy.
It's relevant. It's relevant. Just waiting on it. That's my parents' front lawn.
That's fine, as long as they didn't post pictures of their Halloween.
They did not.
Decoration.
They did not.
Okay.
I will say, but
That's fine then.
my family has become the people that do the blow up decorations, Halloween, Christmas, everything. And it was pointed out to me that the older you get, the more that makes sense, and that made sense to me because for them it was pull it out of a box, plug it in, and you're good. Anchor it down, you're good.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
But
I've never had issues with the blown up things themselves. My issue was when people put up the blow up things and then take pictures of it and put it on Facebook and are like, "Oh, look at all the decorating I did." For the exact reason that your parents said the older you get, the why you do it, it's because it's not fucking any work. Don't send me pictures of shit you didn't do any work on.
And I will say, I was working when they hung lights, so I got sent a picture of Jack on the roof hanging the lights for him. Like, good on you, mate.
I gave we went to a friend of mine's 40th birthday party celebration last night.
Damn, you're old.
And so are my friends. And we gave one of my buddies a ride home, and they didn't have any lights up, and I gave him a lot of shit. His wife's like, he's scared of heights. I told her, I was like, you want lights hung? Call me, I'll come hang them for you.
Oh, he's gonna have lights now. He's.
I doubt it.
No.
He doesn't care that much.
Okay, well, I'd hang up lights after that. I'd be first thing the next morning. Show you, motherfucker. Come hang up the lights. But yeah, or like the laser ones
Uh,
are really lazy.
yeah. Well, they've got the permanent lights now that apparently you put them up once, which is maybe what you should look at. Tell your parents to get. You put them up once, and they're like LED lights, so you can change them with orange for Halloween
Mm,
and things like that.
that's a good idea.
So
That is actually really because we have the little spotlights under the house, and I put the color changing bulbs. They control with
yeah.
their phone, and they'll like a police officer will get hurt in the county, and they'll change it to blue and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So
Yeah.
that's a good idea. That's a really good idea. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
It's appreciated. By the way, so you're still a hard no for most horror games, right? Just a general question. That's so
Um,
nasty.
it's just gonna depend on the game. I
So
mean,
I'm
it's not that I'm a hard no for a horror game. If it was like a good looking game, like we play Zombie Survival, I mean, those are technically like horror
I
games.
guess that is a horror game. Just I've been playing a
But
game
like,
with my brother recently, and I got Bubbles into it, and my sister and my future brother-in-law someday got into it, and I didn't know if it was going to be up your alley or not. But I keep playing it, so I'm like, if I'm playing, I think I've put 10 hours in already. If I'm playing it this much, I think you'd enjoy it as well.
yeah. What game is it?
Lethal Company. I'm sure you've seen
Okay.
TikToks on it.
No, I haven't.
They're dudes. I've sent you some. They're dudes in orange suits, and they run all goofy.
Oh, okay.
Well, just something to bring up, something to think about, maybe.
Cool. Cool,
Uh,
cool, 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 cool. So how are you how's your Christmas shopping going? You done with
uh,
it?
almost.
Almost?
All the important people, the gifts have been bought for
Okay.
online. Online.
And who are the important people?
Well, you told me not to get you Christmas presents, so,
Yeah.
but I still might send you guys some stuff anyways. But like,
Aren't we gonna see each other?
I have no idea now
No,
because of Holly with the
that's
puppies.
disappointing.
I mean, I might still go up there anyways,
Well,
but
but she didn't get puppies.
exactly. Don't even get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Just, um, so, but like extended family, like aunts, uncles, some friends that I have from work, kind of stuff. Like my work friends, at least it'll be easy. I'm just gonna get them Dungeons and Dragons dice because all of them play D&D.
Oh, nice.
But I was gonna get like really nice custom dice, right? Like the really nice stuff on Etsy. It's like $80 for a set of dice.
Yeah, just go to Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna order on Amazon. They're like $4 for
Yeah.
regular colored dice.
Hmm.
Like so. But have you finished your?
Amazon is the best place.
Oh yeah,
Like everybody's complaining about it. Like, oh, you need to if you want local businesses, you need to shop local. Well, if my local businesses wants my money, they should be online.
if my local business will sell D&D dice, sure, sure.
Well, I mean, even what other they're selling. Like, I I don't have a preference to buy from Amazon, but I have a preference to not have to leave my house to buy my stuff.
That's
You can
fair.
see my presents back here, right there. You see them right there. All I did was click buttons, and then they showed up, and now I have to wrap them.
You did spend money.
I spent money, yeah.
You didn't just not even open the box, just wrap the fucking sealed box.
Well, I keep them like that because I have kids and a wife who have eyes, and I don't want them to see what's in those boxes.
That's fair.
So I just leave them like that till I'm ready to wrap, which I might wrap tomorrow or one of these days coming up.
Hmm.
We did get my wife bought the
Oh, I've
PCU tool
seen that.
with the blade. So we'll see. She used it tonight and said it worked really well.
I've paid my sister every year for the past, I don't know, 8 years to wrap presents for me.
That's fucking lazy.
Yeah, I'm bad at it. They look awful. They look
So,
trashy. So I pay her. She does
well,
them. She just doesn't wrap her own, obviously.
pay somebody else to do that.
Which I do that one myself. It looks bad.
She gets all of her presents in bags.
Yeah, yeah, with the paper. I can. Um,
Yeah.
I went and let their dogs out the other night, and I was in my sister's apartment, and I'm like, what can I do? Because I was bored. I was like, So I hid a bunch of spoons around her apartment.
That was nice of you.
Yeah. She found most of them. She hasn't found one yet,
Okay.
which there is none
Okay.
left. She found all of them, but she believes there's one more.
That's the best.
Let's see how long that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, well, that and who knows how many spoons you actually have. I mean, if
Exactly.
I
She
didn't have
can't
kids,
fact
I'd
check me.
probably, but yeah.
She can't fact check me.
Yeah.
Like stupid places too. Bottom of hampers, inside the Christmas tree. Like, you know,
Hmm.
it was a fun little game of hide and seek that we played.
Hmm. Unwilling for her.
Nah, she laughed about it.
Yeah.
Because at least I
Yeah,
didn't
she
hide.
still wasn't a willing participant.
That's true, but I did do it while I was doing her a favor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, the Cowboys are playing for division right now.
I know I can't watch. I'm not
20,
allowed to watch,
24 to
remember?
6. 24 to 6 they're up.
This is actually, this might be pushing it, having the camera right there. Now that I know it's there, if they start losing, you
I
know what
I don't
happened.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't believe in bad luck like that. So
Okay.
it was I will say, so we went to a 40th birthday last night. I'm getting to that age where my friends are starting to have and I feel like 40 is like a milestone birthday, in my opinion. Like,
Oh,
21 is a
yeah.
big milestone birthday. Your friends turn 21, you all meet at the bar, things like that. And 40 is such a different milestone because you're like, I feel like by the time we're getting to this age, 30, everybody's at such a mixed area. Some people are going to have kids. Some people are still going to be single. Some people are going to, everybody's at a different point in their life at 30. By 40, everybody's got kids. It's just a matter of how old they are.
Well, I know some
Or
couples in their 40s that don't have kids.
or they're single. I have one friend that's single. But if you're 40 and you don't have kids, like, you're not having kids. Like, there's a
Oh,
reason
yeah.
you don't have.
It's
Like,
done.
it's either a choice or like your choice or somebody else's.
It just didn't happen.
But you're not having kids if you're at 40. And I don't have any of those friends. I have all of my friends. Well, yeah, no, all of them. I have one buddy who doesn't have kids, but the girl that he's with has 2 older
It's
kids.
the same thing.
So
That's a commitment
like,
you take on with that.
they haven't been together super long, but went out with them one night, and the kids called him about cooking a pizza, which I was like, what? Oh, a little crazy.
It's all about dynamics.
So, but like I said, it was super interesting because you have the conversations, and you feel like you go through a lot of the stuff on your own, but a lot of people, everybody I talked to last night was going through stuff that I went through at one point, or things like that, where you feel like you're the only one that's struggling with something or going through something. And there was a lot of people that were, like, what's new since we last talked? It's been 2 years, and it's like, yeah, we don't do anything. I told this group of friends that we were going to start doing a supper club, and we'd just go out once a month to different steakhouses. We've got, small towns, and you'd go to a small steakhouse here and, just try different places. And he's like, we did it 2 months, and then people got pregnant and people weren't feeling good. And he goes, we never did it again. And I'm like, cool. I'm not the only one that thinks of good ideas, and then everybody else bails on.
Hey, I'm still here, motherfucker. All right?
That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
First of all, it's easy for us to show up. I mean, it's literally walk into a different room in our house and click buttons.
With work, it does get a little tough with scheduling, but
Yeah.
we make it, but it's still a conscious and effort to make time for it. It's just an
Oh,
hour,
yeah.
but it's an hour. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
what you're saying though is the premise to this podcast, you realize, for me, at least on my end. The reason why I wanted to start the podcast is what you're talking about, because I recognize that you went through things and dealt with
Mhm.
things that I am just now starting to go into. And it's fresh
Yeah.
enough. I'm not asking an 80-year-old man, how to do these things. I'm asking someone who's only 10 years older than me and has that
Yeah.
font of knowledge. And it's been really helpful.
Yeah.
Positive impact, very positive impact. As lame as it sounds, I'm actually very happy with it.
that's good. And hopefully other people listen and take what we're saying with a grain of salt. But if it
Yeah.
could help one person, it's worth it.
Oh,
You know,
exactly. It's helped me.
and
Like,
also the other thing, if God forbid something ever happened to either one of us, our family or our kids, my kids would have stuff that they can look back and see me and hear some of my thoughts and opinions, because how many people actually put some of their thoughts and opinions out there? And, I mean, if you're talking about stupid stuff like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, but,
psychic powers.
you know,
Hmm. I didn't even think of that, actually. Obviously,
right.
I would have to raise your kids because I won that bet. So,
Hmm. You won the bet of me dying.
I'll be like, if you die, if you and Brittany both die in like a plane crash or something, I get to raise the kids. I won
Yeah.
that bet. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe I said no the first time you brought it up, but
We
sure, we'll go with
we
it.
had a bet. You were drunk. We had a bet. You were drunk and I
We had
won.
a bet.
Yeah, I won.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I'll play the tape. Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah. Okay. You're
Uh,
the one that's gonna have to fight in the court of law. So,
that's fair. Nah, I'm
but
I'm cool with being the
no,
cool
and
uncle.
it's interesting listening. I mean, listening to my friends, talk. Like what's been new since we last saw you? Well, nothing, because we have two kids that are 5 and 18 months, and I go to work and I deal with my kids, and like this is the first time we've been out of the house in 6 months.
Yeah.
Or we do, and and the funny part is everybody's at like a little bit different place. Like I have some friends who are very well off. Like I have one friend who's both of her parents passed away and left her. Like they've got a cabin at a nice lake around here that they can use frequently. They're in a different tax bracket than I am, let's just say.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's just but we're all going through the same thing. It's just at different levels.
Mm-hmm.
you know um I did. You want to know what the funniest part was, though?
What?
So we get there and I'm ordering, trying to figure out what I want to drink, and somebody ordered a White Russian, so I'm like, oh yeah, I want a fucking White Russian. So I had a White Russian,
God.
and then I didn't want a second White Russian.
Okay, keep going.
And I'm like, oh, let's see what kind of whiskey they have. So I looked and they had Buffalo Trace. So I'm like, cool, I'm
Oh,
gonna get a Buffalo
that's
Trace. So I had a Buffalo Trace on the rocks, which I mean, how I don't go to the bar ever, so I was fine. I didn't pay attention to price. I didn't care what it was.
that's
I went, got some food. But then my buddy whose birthday it was, and my good buddy who I was just kind of sitting chatting with, our server was terrible. Like she did not want to be there anymore. So I went up to the bar and I was like, "You guys need another one?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Cool. What are you drinking?" Buffalo Trace. What? I was like, "All right. What are you drinking?" Buffalo Trace. What the fuck is going on? Apparently, everybody just really likes Buffalo Trace.
well,
And
it's very popular. Yeah.
yeah. I had no idea. I hadn't even heard of it till you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I even got a bottle was because my wife ordered it online.
Mm-hmm. If you can
And
find it, its MSRP is only 20-25 bucks. It's a
yeah,
cheaper like whiskey, but it's just so hard to find that
yeah,
people mark it up a lot.
yeah. So everybody was drinking Buffalo Trace, which I was just like, oh. Well.
Because
And
it's
it was
hard to
funny.
find. That's an expensive bill.
It was. I think we spent like $75, and my wife
Oh, that's
had
not
like 3
bad.
appetizers. She only had one drink, and I got a couple rounds for my buddy.
It's actually really good.
And well, I mean, we're not 28 and buying shots and shit. Like
Yeah, but
it was
down here,
Buffalo Trace on the rocks.
Buffalo Trace is $10 a glass down here.
Well, yeah, I couldn't tell you how many I had.
See?
Right? It's just one of those things. I mean, you're just not paying attention to. You
Yeah.
know, like it doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna drink until I don't want to drink anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep
You
going.
know, I did try one of those nicotine patches.
How was that?
It burned a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but other than that, it was fine.
Getting heartburn?
No, not too bad.
That's why I can't do them, is the heartburn.
That makes sense. Because you're not spitting or anything, and you're just swallowing straight nicotine.
You can spit, but
Yeah, but I mean that's the reason you're doing those versus tobacco pouches. It's
So when I go into a big exam, I'll put one in.
okay.
The nicotine helps with like focus and calm and everything. But
Hmm.
besides that, or yeah, that's
They
it.
say straight nicotine isn't terrible for you.
It's not. In low
Like,
doses, it's just, I mean,
yeah,
just like everything else.
it's addictive and stuff, but like it's,
Mhm.
I mean, tobacco, I don't think tobacco's good for you at any point,
Not really. There's some
you
good
know.
portions in it, but inhaling anything is bad for you.
Yeah.
So,
So that's why, well, but then you'd look at like chewing
but
tobacco.
it's the additives in it. So
Yeah.
it's just a whole thing. I've been trying to actually get more in depth into that. I read an article about how the generations now, or specifically mine and your generations, are going back to roots on a lot of things, on food preparation, pickling, making our own like beverages, stuff like that,
Hmm.
fermenting. And so I kind of got when I saw that, it really inspired me, and now I'm going down the rabbit hole on a lot of things. Our buddy Daniel is actually running a very successful Instagram page about his mead making, and he's got
Hmm.
some really cool stuff up there. And it just got me really interested. A lot of people I know, you guys included, make some of the best fucking pickles I've ever had. So
So do you own chickens?
no,
Because you know chickens are a gateway to conspiracy theories.
are they?
Have you not seen that article?
No, I haven't.
No, it's they're like you buy chickens and then you become like, oh, I need to do this. So I should. Well, why do I don't do this? Well, what's in this? Well, what's in like
Yeah. The
which
only
I could
thing,
see.
the only thing I wish I knew how to cultivate would be antibiotics. Personally, that would be if I could do that, then I'd do everything else. Like that's the top. But we can't.
Yeah, you. Why can't you?
I don't think we can. The specific strain that they're grown from, we don't have access to.
From penicillin? Isn't it just from mold?
But a specific mold. Mold's very dangerous. Like you can trace back that mold to a specific melon in a grocery store in like the 70s.
Really?
Look it up. I
I'd be
read
interested.
I read an article on that too, so take it with a grain of salt.
I'd be interested to know if like because that's I mean, I figure you got to see people like starting their own like. Which do you think it's weird that antibiotics are like super hard to get? Like you have to get a prescription for them.
I do think it's really weird.
Like why do we need why do you have to have a prescription for
It's not
antibiotics?
like they're addictive. They're not.
Yeah.
They are harmful taken in large doses, 100%, or taken too long. I get that.
So smoking, drinking.
Just keeping it in the same vein, taking too much Tylenol, taking too much ibuprofen for too, like, you know what I mean? We have access to a lot
Yeah.
of things that are very deadly,
Yeah.
prolonged.
Why are antibiotics not over the counter?
That was super weird for me as well. That's why I'm interested in learning how to do it. Because that's something I
Yeah.
would love to be able to have in my back
I
pocket.
I'd love to you should start a TikTok page on how to cultivate your own antibiotics.
Yeah, but then I have to take them to test them and I fucking die of like black lung, you know?
Yeah. I think it's worth the risk.
Is it for you?
It is. It is. I
In
think it
case I
is.
succeed.
I mean,
But it is something I've always been really interested in. Just pharmacy in general. It's cool the way drugs interact with each other and Krebs cycle process of cellular mitosis and all that stuff. Boring,
yeah,
super boring.
sure.
But
Yeah.
um, yeah, it's cool that we're all getting back to our roots, and I see that as a prime example with you guys specifically, with the pickling and stuff like that, and then Holly with growing fruit and vegetables. I don't think Holly's bought garlic in quite a while because
Really,
they
that's
grow
nice.
their own garlic.
I'd like to do that. I've never done it.
Apparently, it's really easy.
Yeah, you just basically put it in a pot this time of year, and then like 9 months later, you're harvesting full cloves of garlic.
Shit ton of garlic, and it's good. Tastes like garlic.
I just like you got to have like a root cellar to keep that stuff good in, though, don't you?
I think they freeze it.
Yeah, freezing makes sense.
You can freeze just about anything.
Yeah.
A big thing is that article about knowing how to be broke and doing things, and it kind of a lot of these are speaking to me now because I am on a lower tax bracket. And if I keep doing the job that I'm doing, I will always be at that bracket. That's just how it is, you know?
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong living like that. Like making the cheap meals. When I'm at the station, I make some fucking cheap at like it cost me $8 to make food for 4 people.
Hmm.
And I make them all the time and I make them with pride. You know, they don't taste super fancy, amazing, caviar dipped in gold, but they're hearty with lots of potatoes and they taste fucking good to me. So
Yeah. I mean, look. I mean, we had for supper tonight. We made lobster bisque soup,
that's pretty
and
fancy. I don't know.
this
I can't afford
this.
lobster.
Well, but we bought a package of like the imitation like lobster,
Hmm.
and it was like $4, $6. I don't even know what it was. I
Do you know
mean,
what imitation shellfish is?
what?
It's
It's like a
just
fish of some
it's
kind.
just whitefish and then molded into the shape of.
Yeah.
But it's still fish. Like it's not like
Yeah.
it's tofu or something weird.
Yeah. I mean, but then we had like this bow tie pasta, like shrimp pasta, shrimp linguine we got it from Costco, and you throw that in the oven, and we made some Red Lobster biscuits, and
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well,
it was simple stuff, but it was a really, really good meal.
what was that sauce?
That
Because
was lobster bisque soup.
oh, so that was the soup. Okay,
Yep, that
because
was the
it
soup.
it looked really fucking good.
It was. It was real tasty.
I just had pasta for dinner. I don't know if you've seen the brand Rouse, Raos.
I'm sure I have.
It's newer-ish, but they have some real like I will say the pasta sauce is actually really tasty. So I've been buying
Nice.
that in bulk. In
Oh
my
yeah, I think we got that at Costco.
yep, yep, probably. And their marinaras, mm, super good. But I just
Is
keep
there
making pasta
is
like
there a
that.
difference between pasta sauce and marinara sauce?
It's chunkier.
That's it though, right?
I
Like
think
flavors and stuff the same.
I think marinara is a little more acidic, so maybe it's not cooked as long as pasta sauce is. Just as
Okay.
a palate analysis, it's just a little thicker, a little more acidic, not as sweet, which is what I like. I don't like it when a pasta sauce gets too sweet.
Fair enough.
So I'll throw that in a pot with the fucking pack of little pepperonis, the tiny ones. Throw
Hmm.
that in there. Done.
I got it. I mean, little. I don't know. I gotta have meat with it.
I mean, I'll throw ground beef sometimes, but the pepperoni is the meat. Or chicken. Chicken with the pepperonis. Get like
I always
those.
find chicken and pasta such a weird combination, but it makes sense. Like we'll do chicken Alfredo, but like I never do like chicken and marinara. I don't know why, or
I
chicken and
will.
red sauce.
I will do it every time. I put chicken on my pizza.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not that I'm against it.
Just
I
not something
just
you do.
don't do it.
Have you ever made a pink sauce?
No, is that the combination of the red
Mm-hmm.
and the white? I actually think I would like that more because I don't generally like to eat a lot of red sauce because it gives me heartburn.
Mm-hmm.
But I also can't eat like a super rich, creamy Alfredo sauce because I can usually make it right to about the end of the meal and I have to go to the bathroom.
Yep. Yeah.
So, like, I need to find a happy medium where it doesn't burn my guts, but it also doesn't burn the beehole.
I would recommend doing a pink sauce. Actually think it's the best sauce because you really do get the best of both worlds because both are delicious, right? Like
Hmm.
they're really good. You just get a good combination, good flow going, and whew, it's my favorite. My girlfriend hates it.
That
She just
sucks.
she wants white sauce, but I really like the pink sauce personally with some chicken and some pepperoni. Oh, yeah. Um, yeah. Holidays, Christmas. It's a rough time of year for a lot of people, unfortunately.
Yeah, it can be. It really, you know, it can be hard seeing the people that you want to see, but it can also be hard, not getting to see the people that you want to see.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think, yeah, I don't know. A lot of it can be what you make of it, um,
Yeah.
and just kind
It's
of accepting. A lot of it. It's weird how you have to accept things even though you don't want to, and control what you can control, and accept what you can't control, and think it's like the AA creed actually, and the wisdom to know the difference.
I guess
But I
so.
mean, but it's true though. Like I mean, it's such a simple thing. Like for instance, right now, my brother, sister, and my brother's in-laws, her parents, they're all at this trip to the Bahamas. We were not told, we were not invited to it. It sucks. I feel left out with it,
Yeah.
but I can't control what they do. So I could sit here and be pissed off. I could dwell on it. I could do all this. I could do all this shit. Fuck that. Fuck them. I'm gonna I'm gonna have fun with the people that want to have fun with me, and I'm gonna go enjoy life in other ways then, because there's plenty of people that I do have in my life, and rather than dwelling on the people that I wish I did or used to or anything like that, I'm gonna focus on the ones that are. You know,
Now you make me want to come see you.
you're good.
No, I mean, I wanted to come see you anyways because
Well, yeah. I
I
mean,
like going out there.
I believe last time you said that we were going to be doing a live podcast in December. So
I just might be coming
you,
alone.
well,
That's the thing, which I hate
I'm sure
doing
you,
sometimes.
I'm sure you come alone plenty of times.
Not as often as I used to, Matt. I've been working on it. Thank you very much.
I don't know what that means, and I'm not going to ask any questions.
She's like a puzzle box that I've finally solved. Um, I completely agree with you. I'm learning something you probably learned a long time ago with splitting time and seeing everyone for the holidays and just being like, dude, I can't. Like, there's physically not enough hours in the day and not enough gas in my tank to do that. So it sucks.
Yeah,
I feel like Vince
it
Vaughn in
does.
Four Christmases.
I watched that the other day. I've been trying to see how many Christmas movies I can watch this year.
I,
I've got quite a few in.
we got to get you on Hallmark.
No, no. I
Just
need to get through.
roll
I need to
through
get
them.
through the good ones first, and then I'll go to Hallmark.
There's a lot of Yellowstone ripoffs on Hallmark.
Yeah. Well, figure out what works and fucking repeat it. That's what all movie companies do.
Oh yeah, unfortunately.
Which begs the difference on why they're still making DC movies. Like those
No,
haven't worked. And
I completely disagree with you. Have you seen the new Batman?
yeah, with Robert Pattinson,
Hmm.
like yeah, it
I really liked it.
was okay.
I didn't take it as a Batman movie. I took it more of like a crime
But
scene
Batman's
mystery.
like the only thing that they've done right is Batman. Like they can't do anything else right. I mean, Superman. I think Superman was okay, but why they haven't gone like why they didn't make so many more Superman movies?
Mm, I
But
wouldn't want to
at
see
the
more
exact same
Superman.
time, well, that's because Superman is such a hard like
Superman wins.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it's Superman's a hard one to do. Like, I mean, you look at all the other ones, like especially like on the Marvel side, Iron Man is just a dude that's really smart, and so he's able to think of problem solve. Thor, Thor's harder because he's kind of a god,
Yeah, but they
but
gave him
they
a
give
great
him a
character
lot of
arc.
well, they give him a lot of emotional struggles,
Yes.
as opposed to physical. His is emotional,
Oh yeah.
and the
Can we
Hulk they
talk?
haven't done movies with.
Can we talk about the fact that I wish Thor was still fat? No, not even just fat, but I wish that they took him the Norse route and just made him super buff, but with a gut, right? Like they kept him big, but they just fucking doubled down on the Norse as opposed to just getting him super Hollywood shredded again. I would have
Yeah,
loved
getting
to
it
see.
do like the Mountain,
Yeah,
all those like super big bodybuilders. Because if you
yes.
ask them, they're like, why don't you have abs? And they're like, well, abs don't make you strong.
Yeah,
Abs just mean you
exactly.
don't need enough.
Exactly. I want like Norse Thor. I don't know if you played any of the God of War games. I don't think you have. But the Thor in there isn't some super skinny fit dude. He's just fucking jacked and he's got a belly because he drinks beer. I think that
Yep.
would have been really cool to do. And I think it would have spoke to a wider audience because you have guys that don't have most people over 30 don't have abs anymore. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
Cheeseburgers are good. Like I don't know what to tell you. So I think it would have been really cool to have Big Thor, not Fat Thor, just Big Thor.
Yeah.
I think Captain America was one of the worst heroes in the story. I think he's one of the best, but one of the worst movies to watch.
Mm,
He didn't have any development. He was the same person he was at the start than he was at the finish. I could get into this all day because I talk about this at work all day and I get a lot of varying of opinions.
okay.
So well, that's got to be for a separate day because I think I could really go in on it. But I did like the new Batman. I did like the new twist they put on it. It was more detective oriented, more crime, and I thought that was really
But
cool.
but Batman, like I said, Batman's just never been an issue. I mean, the Christian Bale series was
Oh,
phenomenal. All
absolutely.
three of those were amazing. Minus losing Heath Ledger in the process, but
Yeah,
you know, um, but I mean, before that, I mean, there's really not been a Batman that I haven't liked. But why can't we get a good Flash movie?
yeah. Did you see Flashpoint?
I haven't.
Don't.
Like the series was really good, and why can we make these series, but then we can't?
Because it's more time to develop a character.
Well, but then they fuck up and they like want to do like these interchanging within like the different shows, and it's like, okay, well, in order to understand this, you need to be watching 4 shows, and at some point, this show's going to have part of your episode, and then this show's going to have the other part, and it's like, fuck you, man. Who has time for that kind of shit?
That's fair. Like reading 2 books at once. Who has time for that?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, yeah, Wonder Woman was good.
Wonder
So
Woman was, yeah,
I
Wonder
I
Woman was
just
decent.
I just don't think their heroes are very compelling
Yeah.
personally. They're superhero like they're superhumans, it's
Hmm.
I don't get a lot out of it. I get a lot out of Batman because he's a dude who's just super rich. Like,
Green Arrow, who is
oh,
basically the same thing as Batman,
loved that show. It got a little
but he's
weird
this,
at the end,
but he's the same thing as Batman. Like he's
just
the
with a
exact
bow.
same thing, just with
Yeah.
a bow.
And they made him
And
speak Russian in the show. That was so badass at the time. I was like, "Oh,
and
yeah.
not a super weird obsession with bats.
Yeah, that's true." Just with looking like Robin Hood. Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's some good characters, there's some bad ones. Blue Beetle, why did they have to take the only Mexican superhero and have his struggle being saving the neighborhood from gentrification? Like are you come on, man. Like anything else. Why do you have to make it a political problem? Just have him go fight a monster, like anything else.
Right.
Whatever.
They all get too woke.
It's yeah, you're brown, you got to be woke. It's like, okay, well, that was super irritating for me personally, but
Yeah.
tired of it. Um, what do you think, and this is just a random thrown out question, of internet fame? What's your opinion on that?
I don't like it.
No?
No.
So
Like,
I have an example, but I want to
okay,
hear
go
your
ahead.
opinion. So my girlfriend watches these guys. They're on YouTube. They're called The Boys. A lot of these YouTubers are very interconnected, right?
Hmm.
Like so and so plays with so and so, so he gets a bunch of views. So and so plays with so. Like it just keeps going.
Yep.
Two of them live here in San Antonio,
Hmm.
and we were watching them, and they're entertaining, right, to a point. Like they'll do the spicy challenge, and they're all funny in a fucked up kind of way, which is what I like. And she's like, oh, it'd be so cool to just run into them, and I don't know, I kind of freak out a little bit, and I'm like, these are just dudes at the end of the day. Like I have friends
Yep.
that behave the same way. They're just doing that in front of a camera, which is very
Hmm.
entertaining. It's nice to see, but I don't get the internet fame thing.
I can't really say that there's many people that I would geek out to run into. Like, so I find that a little bit weird. Like, people getting autographs and like, you know, geeking out and doing all that stuff for people it's super weird to me.
It is.
Like the Taylor Swift, like the obsession that people have with Taylor Swift and Mr. Pfizer is super weird.
It is really weird. I mean,
Like
I
I
get it. She
couldn't
makes
care any
music.
fucking less. And she makes good music. I love her music. Don't like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say anything bad,
Don't.
but I'm not obsessed.
I've never.
Like,
Well,
I've never. Go ahead.
there's some people I would like to meet and talk to. Henry
Yeah,
Cavill.
there's people. Yeah, I'd enjoy having a conversation with somebody, but I'm not gonna walk up and be like, "Oh my God, it's you! It's fucking," you know. I mean, like, if I walk up and be like, I would actually feel really weird walking up because I wouldn't want people just to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, I know you from this," and I'd be like, "Yep, cool, man. Thanks."
The Sammy's a Beer podcast. I know you from the
Yeah.
Sammy's a Beer podcast. You'd look at him, be like, "How much did my wife pay you to come up here, come up to me and say something?"
You know me from where?
Yeah.
Who? I think you got the wrong guy, buddy.
It ain't me. There are some that I would like to talk to. Henry Cavill being, of course, one of them because he's king of
Hmm?
the nerds. You know,
He really is.
he can have it, that title. He's got it unlocked.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr., you know, but I don't think I'd freak out either. And I just don't understand it. And I've seen it at like conventions and stuff here in San Antonio or in Austin because we have big conventions and I've gone.
Well, I bet.
And
Yeah.
it's interesting. I like a lot of the panels with like animators and storytellers and writers. Like those are really interesting because you get to pick apart like some of your favorite shows. But some of them, some of these people, man, they see an actor. Like the guys from Supernatural. One of them lives in Austin,
Hmm.
and there are places he can't go to like ever because they'll just
And
lose their mind.
that's gotta suck for them.
It does.
Like, and I think that's the reason maybe like I wouldn't do anything like that with people. Like I might be the guy that like pulls my camera up and like does like a secret selfie as I'm walking away,
Just to prove to people that you saw them.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's
Or
gonna be about the extent.
or buy them a beer, right? Like you find out they're drinking a fucking glass of Buffalo Trace. It's like, hey, can you put a Buffalo Trace on my tab for them?
But how presumptive of you to assume that they're gonna have more than one, or you know, because if all your fans did that, you're gonna be getting fucking shitty, and you don't want to be doing that.
I guess that's fair. Just
You know.
something, just or like if it happens to come up, it's like, hey, love your work, thank you for all you
Yeah,
do.
like I maybe just walk by and hey man, I appreciate all that you do. Thanks. You know,
Yeah,
because how much would it suck like if you were just out and everybody just came up and wanted autographs and to talk to you and all this other shit.
and which is funny. I have a memory of that. Tim Duncan took his daughter to a Chuck E. Cheese, and we were at the Chuck E. Cheese at that time, and he was just swarmed with kids who would
Yeah.
take their tickets to go get a notepad from the ticket booth, like from the prize center, so he would sign it for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just when I was a kid, I didn't really understand. I didn't really even know who he was, to be honest with you. I didn't follow basketball. I was 8. Like I didn't give a fuck. So I'd rather have Chucky sign my.
That's those are the funny ones. My kids have autographs from our local baseball team is called the Canaries, and they've got a bird that walks around in the suit, and the kids have his name's KG, and they've got autographs from him, and I'm like, that's the most worthless fucking autograph you've ever gotten.
But it's worth a lot to them.
Oh, they love it, absolutely adore it. He signed hats, he signed shirts, he signed fucking baseball cards.
And I'm sure the guy in the suit actually liked that too.
Oh, I guarantee he loved it.
Yeah, he's eating it up. And
Well, but that's one of those things where you can be it for as long as you want, and then you take the suit off and you get to go be you.
just a guy. You know, a good friend of ours was a mascot.
I would believe that.
Do you know who it is?
I would assume Bubbles.
No. It was Egg.
Oh,
She was a mascot for our high school.
okay. Okay.
Fun fact.
Sweet. That's an interesting thing to be.
I wish Bubbles was a mascot. But he looked like,
See
when
him.
we were in high school, he looked like Eminem. He'd cut off all his hair and bleach it.
You can do that and be a mascot still.
I guess so. That was his persona.
Like, that doesn't stop you from being a mascot.
That was just his persona. That's what he was doing. He was into rap.
It is really funny. There's this parent that drops their kid off at school, and they've got like the bleach white hair with like the darker underneath, like that because it's grown out some. That's like pitch black, and then it's a dad, and he wears like the black and white checkered shorts. And every time I see him, I just want to go, "Hello there."
Well, he's never gave up on it though. You gotta give the
No,
man
he
props for
hasn't.
commitment.
Nah, do you?
I kind of do at that point.
I
He
I
found
don't
something
know.
he really loves and he never let it go. I know a lot of people who dressed like that in high school, and the minute they went to
Yeah,
college, they stopped. You know what I mean? Like,
as you should. You
yeah.
should.
Well,
You know.
I read an article about that too. It's like how you enjoying your 30s and how you joining all your 90s country music. And it's like, mm,
Well, there's something to be said with like addictions and things like that. That like when you start using substances or things like that, or even, I mean, alcohol, weed, anything like that,
it's a
that
substance.
your brain doesn't continue growing after that point. And so if you started doing that when you were 15, 16, your brain could just not have continued growing from then.
I guess that's possible.
And so you're now 30 and still bleaching your hair and
Wearing checkered pants
wearing
and
checkered shorts. Not even pants, they're shorts.
oh, that's
And it's
even
fucking
worse.
30 degrees. You know, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I wish I could still do some of that stuff. Like, I think Vans were a super comfortable pair of shoes, but I
Mm,
don't skateboard. They fit my feet really well. I have super wide
I was
feet,
about to say you
and
got
they
some
made a
fat
super
fucking
wide
feet.
shoe. I
Yeah.
do. Oh, I got fucking oars.
Horse. I have feet you could sell feet pics of.
I mean, maybe you can sell them of mine. I don't know.
Oh,
I'd
I
love to
mean,
make.
hey,
I'd love to make money selling pictures of my feet.
if you find that hustle, baby, you go
If
for it.
if you could make money, if you could make six figures selling pictures of your butthole, would you?
Oh, absolutely. I would make
Would
chocolate
you?
molds and send them to my fans of my
Would
butthole.
you be okay putting pictures of your butthole
You
out
know how
there?
many grown men and women have seen me fully naked throughout my life?
I do not.
Hundreds.
But that's
Hundreds.
just because of the military,
Yeah,
right?
but that desensitizes you to it. I will be naked, walk the
Well, it's
street.
one thing. It's one thing to like have it and be in front of everybody. It's another thing to have it on the internet and put it out there and like have your face associated with your butthole and all that stuff.
If it's giving me six figures, I'll put whatever the fuck out there you want. I just won't do anything weird. Too weird.
What's too weird though? Like, because
Shoving
how
a
would
dildo up my ass would be too
like,
weird.
well, but like raising kids. Like, if you had kids and your kids were like, "Dad, what do you do for work?" Dad takes pictures of his butthole and sells them to other grown men online.
Okay,
What?
yeah, that would be pretty. That'd be pretty rough. You're right.
Or Dad,
Yeah.
how are you retired so early? Well, kids,
Well,
Dad made a
Sonny,
lot of money selling pictures of his butthole
in the
online.
early 2020s, Dad sold his butthole pictures a lot, and that paid for your college, lawyer.
There was a little thing going on called the coronavirus, and Dad took advantage of people being at home.
I think we're desensitizing culture to nudity as well right now, as well. Like, I don't think it's going to be as big of a thing 20 years from now.
And I'll be honest, I disagree with that. Like, I do not like the way things are going. Like,
Oh, I
do
don't
I
like
enjoy
it
seeing a girl in a bikini? Yes.
as long as she's not wearing
Do
shoes.
I don't care if she's wearing shoes or not.
I think it looks weird.
I I I think thongs are super inappropriate for girls to wear. Like, any girl.
Like
I
ever?
don't think it's like out in public.
Okay. Okay.
Like, just like a thong bikini or the G-string bikinis,
Hmm.
things like that. Like, I find it inappropriate. Like,
It is.
you should cover up more.
Yeah.
Like,
Modesty is sexy, ladies.
yeah. And I honestly think that, like, and I dislike how open we're getting to be with some of this stuff.
So I didn't say I liked it, but I do. It's gonna happen anyways, right? Like it's happening. It is what it is.
Maybe.
I mean, if it takes a turn, cool. I'm cool with that because I actually do enjoy modesty. I don't know why. It doesn't make sense in my brain, but
I think it leaves something. It leaves a sense of intrigue. You
maybe,
know.
yeah. But that's a personal. I always just thought that was a personal preference because you meet those guys that are like, yeah, the less clothes, the better, and I'm like, well, no, personally, but so I always thought it was
When
kind of
especially
weird on that end.
like my significant other, like I would, if my wife wanted to wear stuff like that, like, I would not be okay with it.
Me either.
And if she, and I wouldn't marry a girl that was okay with it.
Same.
I mean, it's one of those things that it's like nobody likes sluts. Like everybody kind of likes sluts.
Everyone does a little bit, like a little bit.
They're like mopeds.
Yes, you want they're fun to ride, but you don't want to be seen riding them.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that. 100% actually. But there are some guys that do like that, that enjoy that, they want to be seen with that. I just never personally understood it.
But are those that I don't know. I mean, that's a whole other situation and stuff. But are those the guys that the girls want to marry?
Maybe. I've seen it. I know a couple that have an OnlyFans together.
Yeah. You think they'll make it in the top 50% or the bottom?
Top 50.
You think they'll make it for married? Do you think they'll stay married the whole time?
I think so. They've been married for 6 years
50%,
now.
50% of all marriages end in divorce.
50%? Fuck.
You know the leading cause of divorce?
Infidelity?
Marriage.
You're so stupid.
Do you want to hear? I'll leave this for the end. I'll let you go ahead and finish your thought, and then it's about time to wrap it up. And I'm going to tell you the best dad joke I've ever heard.
I can't wait. My only thought is that they have been together for 6 years now, through their early 20s, and I have never seen two people more in love with each other.
Do you see it online love?
No,
or
in person.
In person.
And it's like the sweet love, like just the little things they'll do for each other. Like they'll go out, he'll make sure he gets her favorite cocktail, and he won't drink but more than one so that she can have a good time, and then he'll take her home. And on the way home, like he'll call her favorite, like he'll order online her favorite fast food because he knows she's a little tipsy, and they'll pick it up on the way home and then go to bed. Like the little things that they do.
But I think that also needs to go both ways. Like
she does a lot for him.
He always does that. That's.
She got herself dressed up for his promotion, and because he's active, and like pinned him and was very appropriate, very regal, and she worked the room with all the wives, and it's a weird dynamic. Like they're on paper and in person, they're a perfect couple. They just also get freaky and post it on the internet. So.
Well, I guess if that works for you.
That's what I'm saying. It's rare, but I guess it's possible.
Yeah. Like I said, there's something out there for everybody. It's just a matter of figuring out what that is. What you want.
Chickens.
Being comfortable in your own skins.
Yeah.
Chickens.
I can't wait for you to get to the old man stage where you're like walking naked in a locker room. Don't give a fuck, Matt. Can't wait for Don't Give a Fuck, Matt.
All right. So, we are getting to the end of the podcast. We thank you all so much for being here with us on this Sunday evening. I don't know what day we'll be back again this week. We'll have to figure that out. But hopefully we will be doing a live podcast here sometime this month. We will keep you posted on that as well. Thomas, any final words for the American public?
Pay teachers more. That's it.
Pay teachers more. I disagree with you on that, but that's a whole other subject.
Shit.
Okay. So, best dad joke. When does a joke become a dad joke?
I don't know, Matt. When?
When it becomes apparent.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you all so much for being here. This is the Sammy's Beer Podcast. One doodle.